Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the CARSWITHKEAV YouTube channel. And yes, in front of you, you see yet another electric foamer. The invasion of the electric foamers is just beginning. This is going to be like foam cannons all over again. Now, I've reviewed many across Amazon, but aren't too many major companies making a battery foamer yet. IK has one coming out. Griots attempted to make one. It was absolutely horrible. If you look at the Maxshine, this is their new one here. Look kind of familiar on the top and the sides. The little adjustment knob. It's very Griots-like. This one is slightly different with the dial on the side, but it could just be a different design altogether, but the same technology on the inside. But we'll see if they improve, because one thing they did improve, USB-C instead of some proprietary plug-in like Griots did. So that's a big plus. Plus it comes with the sprayer nozzle here, a nice, really nice brass nozzle to be a foamer and a sprayer. Along with that spray head, it comes with an extra gasket and 4 filters. This has 2 filters on the inside. I mean, it's kind of a nice package. The handle is very ergonomic, fits my hand pretty good. It's a much larger handle. It sits far away, so that way your hand isn't like too close to the bottle. It fits in nice. Your knuckles aren't touching the bottle like some of them do. I mean, everything here works well. It turns on instantly. I still got some stuff in there from when I was testing. I have been testing this for about almost a week now. The one biggest complaint I have about this is the turn knob. The turn knob is crazy tight. Like right now I can turn it because my fingers are kind of dry right now, and this is kind of dry. But if I get anything on my fingers, I can't turn it. At one point I had to use a pair of pliers to turn it. I had to use a microfiber towel on there to get to turn it. But it's also good at the same time because it's much harder to change. This is an adjustment, right? So when you adjust to something, you want it to stay there. You don't want it to move. And when you turn it, you need to keep turning it to lower until it stops. That's going to be its lowest part. When I first got it, it was literally like 10 rotations from lowest. Once you hit a certain point on the high, you can spin it all you want. It's not going to get any higher. So when you get the low, and once you get like a half a rotation out, you're already almost at full high. Right here on the edge of the handle is where the USB-C plugs in. It also has a nice flexible tube and a stainless steel weighted ball. It also has a quick connect top that's pretty easy to use. Just like that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but we have ounces and milliliters, all the way up to 2,000 milliliters and 70 ounces. Other than that on here, there isn't anything going on other than this adjustment knob that I was showing you earlier. At the top, you have your button, which is the trigger, and you have a battery light indicator. When you push it, it'll show you. But this one, when you push it, you have to hold it to get it to stay running. There's no double click to keep running. It just stops. You have to hold it down. So this is what the nozzle looks like on the inside. It's a lot of threads, so it takes a minute to get all undone. You have that gasket. Inside of here is this little tube, and that's where your filters are. You don't necessarily need this when you're using just the sprayer. This is what helps with the foam, but you can also use it with the sprayer to create a little bit of foam with the sprayer. Inside here is the nozzle. It just comes out, but also when it's in, it's loose, so you can turn it whatever you want, and then when you tighten this down to the thread, it'll be in the position that you want it to be in. You just take that nozzle, feed it through, put that gasket in, and then we spin it on. Adjusts as well, but it's not like meant to be a vertical or horizontal. It's just a funnel type spray. So this is what you would call an electric pump sprayer. This uses a pump at the top. It sucks the liquid up and then shoots it out. It does a little bit of pulsing and maybe a little bit of air to help agitate. Now this isn't cheap. This is $124.99 retail price. Right now on their website, they're doing a sale. It's $93.99, but I see what you did, Maxshine. $93.99. Guess how much free shipping is? $95. Yep. It doesn't include tax either. So now you gotta go buy something cheap, whatever, for 8 or 10 bucks, probably the cheapest they have on the website. So you're gonna wind up spending $105 or so to get this. That puts it in a very high priced category. You better be delivering, because you got stuff like my current favorite right now, the SPTA, and it's the same type of sprayer. This is an electric pump sprayer, sucks through and shoots out. You literally have the same kind of thread pattern. The SPTA is slightly shorter, a little bit wider bottle. That helps with balance. This still has pretty dang good balance. Like empty, when they're empty and they good balance, they're gonna be an amazing balance when they're full. What's good about the electric pump sprayers is you can fill them all the way up and you have much more capacity, max capacity, because you don't need air in the chamber to force liquid out. It's sucking it out. But the best possible combination is this right here. And this is my second favorite. The reason the SPTA is my favorite because it's just easier to deal with. I don't have to deal with the little separate pump here and doing all that kind of stuff. But the IK has the best foam spray pattern, period. When it comes to how long it lasts when it's full and blah, 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 that maybe the Miralex is better on that. But when you have the pump on there, it's gonna keep you at max pressure the whole time, so this thing's gonna spray amazing. And I know this is a DIY project. This cost about $95 to make, but guess who's making a battery sprayer? IK is. They're taking this concept and they've built a compressor into the bottom that's going to fill the bottle up, and it's gonna run just like an IK with a battery compressor at the bottom that's gonna turn on and off as you need it. It's going to do everything for you. So it's gonna be easier to use. So it'll probably wind up becoming my favorite. It's gonna be $119.99. So it's going to be cheaper than the Maxshine is retail price. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be like an Adams product where this thing's on sale all the time for $93.99, but it's also available on Amazon. I'll have the links below, but if it's on sale on their site, go to their site. I don't have an affiliate or anything, but save you some money. But remember, you're gonna have to spend $1.01 to get free shipping. That's about it. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to the testing. All right, to test this, I have Incredible Suds, which is the soap I use for all of my foamer tests, foam cans, everything out there. But we are going to change something when it comes to the electric foamers and the dilution ratios that we're using. On a lot of them, I was using a 32:1 dilution ratio, which is what you use in a foam cannon. But the foam cannon dilutes on top of that. It dilutes 10 to 15:1 on top of that. So you're going from 32:1 to 320:1 at the least. I tried, and these kind of foamers can't really foam Incredible Suds at 300:1. They just don't have enough pressure. They don't have enough agitation to create the foam. So with the electric foamers, 150:1 is my target. It's very easy because on my Incredible Suds bottle here, I have this pump. This pump does exactly 1 ounce. 1 ounce is right around 29.5 milliliters. So if I put that one pump in here and fill it up to exactly the 4,500 milliliter mark, this is exactly 150:1. I like to spray it on the sides because that way, when I fill it up, the soap's it's so thick, the soap kind of sticks to the side. It doesn't foam as much when I'm filming it up. Now you got Incredible Suds, it's thick, so we're gonna need to mix it up. So Incredible Suds you can find at the House of Rags. Code CARSWITHKEAV will get you 10% off. Just a great cleaning foam. All right, so first we're gonna show you its competitor or my current favorite, the SPTA. Now SPTA does amazingly well. And that's one kind of drawback though, is that its spray pattern is very strong at the top and bottom and kind of lean in the middle, but it still covers in the middle. And it covers at a pretty decent rate. Some electric foamers, you have to go very slow to get the coverage. Now that being said, these are not designed to do a whole car. If you want to do a whole car, you can. But just remember, the amount of time it takes to get good coverage with these as a foamer, it's going to take a while. And sometimes it may take more than this whole 2 liters to do that. It may take up to 3 liters or maybe a little bit more. If you use a lot, up to 4 liters. If you're just going to do a quick spot coverage, you're just looking for a pre-soak, you might want to thin it out a little bit and get less foam and just a little more coverage. Here we go. Now this is what I would do most of the time, if not a little less, is this kind of pattern. You see how it's kind of a little bit bigger here, and then, but it's thin, but it's nice and evenly covered. This is about what I would use to get the spokes of the wheels and the tire. You get like the back quarter panel of your car, or the strips of bumper where the bugs get really bad on your bumper. You see how if you go a little bit wider, it thins out, so you have to go a little bit slower to get your coverage. But if you're doing a wheel and tire, you can go pretty quick. Now, if you want to back out and try to cover a whole car quickly, Here's the close-up of that. You see, I can move pretty quick. If you back off a little bit, you speed up, you see how I'm missing. I've got to slow it down. But still amazing. Oh. So this is that DIY IK. Remember, they're making their own. It should be available hopefully in a couple of months, but it's going to be like 119 bucks. This was $95. I'll leave a link below to multiple videos that I showed how to make these, whether it's a Merrill-X or an IK. You can actually take any of these pump sprayers you want and you can add a valve in there. The amazing part about these is you can still pump them and battery at the same time. Now, if we're going to cover a whole car, the IK is the way to go. The problem with the IK is the bottle is very small and you can only really put maybe a liter in here because you have to leave a lot of void for that air pressure to build up inside. If you don't leave enough air in there, it's not going to last very long, but that's the reason you have the pump. The pump keeps it filled. This one being a DIY, this won't automatically turn back on. I have to hit the button. It will turn off automatically at 45 pounds is what I have it set at. But the new IK is coming, it turns on automatically when it knows you need it. But watch this. Look how even that is. It's stronger in the middle and less on the outside. But look at the area that you can cover with this thing. Like I said, when you cover a whole car, this would be pretty easy. It's just the capacity of the bottle isn't enough to hold the amount of liquid you need. You'd have to refill it multiple times. But I mean, geez, look at that. You can cover a panel so well. See IK up close. See how quickly it covers. And the area. I mean, geez. Well, now that we got those out of the way, we have our Maxshine. Now this is fully charged. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play with this. We can kind of keep track of the amount of time it took. Then we'll do a test to see how long it runs. We'll kind of add those numbers together and that's kind of like the link. They say it should last about an hour continuous spray, which is very good. I think the SPTA only lasts a little over 30 minutes. So, but that's continuous spray. So if you were to do a car, you're literally using maybe not even 2 minutes of continuous spray between your wheels and tires. I have it all the way at low, so it's gonna make a weird sound all the way at low. It makes this really weird puttering sound, but that way I can adjust it up and down to kind of show you. See that and see how thin it is? So we're gonna go just a little bit of a rotation to show the gradual change of from low to high. Turn a little more. See, it's a little bit soapier, a little more. Even more. Now we're starting to get closer to the foam. Do a little more. So you saw how quickly we went from the thin to the thick. And you don't want to get much thicker than this because it spatters like a Griots. It's just a horrible spray pattern. But the concept of this is great because it gives you that adjustability. It sprays pretty good, but you see how it's spitting and spattering thicker pieces here. We have a little inconsistent lean condition. It isn't really like too strong here, here, here. Maybe in the middle, there's some spatters. But if you get your spray pattern close, it's actually a better pattern than the SPTA. It is much more consistent top to bottom. You have a few thick spatters, but there isn't a whole lot of looseness. I prefer this pattern where it's thicker in the middle and thins out at the edge. I don't want it thin in the middle. I want it thin on the outside so I can control my spray, my overspray. But if we try to go any thicker, you can get it thick. And it's gonna stick there. I mean, that's thick. But covering a panel is gonna take a long time because you can't go a good distance because it's doing this sporadic, pulse that it does to create that foam. You have to go slow. But if we thin it out, we can move faster. That actually might be slightly better than the SPTA in that regard. But the SPTA is $65, $60, $55, depending on if it's on sale. And this is $125, $93.99 for sale. Like I said, free shipping. You have to put a little more on your bill. I was expecting the worst. Like I really was. I've been testing it for a week, so I know how it goes. I've been playing with it, playing with dilutions, getting it just right, getting everything just right. And there are other foamers that are not performing at this foam level. But I mean, it's pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And we want to get close for those wheels and tires. Like, I mean, let's go a little bit thicker, go for wheel and tire, just like a little turn in a little bit. Man, yeah, that's, but if you get too high, this is what you get. So here's that close up at just about the right dialed foam. Further away. See how it pulses? You have to keep your speed just right to get the coverage. If you go too fast, it's gonna do that little pulse wave. But if you go slow enough, especially close, that's a nice pattern, nice consistent pattern. Is it worth $124.99? I don't think so. I really wish it was a 75. 75 I think would be great because with that, you know, with that flexible tube, with the weighted ball, we're not going to do like the brake buster and stuff. I do that through the entire testing process to see how well it does with high alkali products. We know it foams. It doesn't matter what we're going to use. So rinseless wash. This is Nemesis Rinseless Wash by Detail Co. It's available at the House of Rags. Code CARSWITHKEAV will save you 10%. Just an amazing value at like 40 bucks for a gallon. And this is always 256 to 1 dilution ratio in here. I just borrowed it out of one of my bigger sprayers. These will do a whole car on rinseless for sure, because watch the coverage. Now this is with the foam tip on, with the felt tips in there, and kind of at the high foam. So kind of give you an idea. You know, rinseless doesn't really foam. So you turn it down to where it's going to shoot it like a spray pattern. Like that. So when you with the foam tip, you don't have to adjust anything. It's the way it is. You keep this locked down and it's just like this. And you're covered in rinseless. Now with the spray tip, you're going to want to put the low, run it. You hear that kind of sound, then we're going to turn it up to where it sounds like it's spraying well and the machine isn't struggling. Like that. Now we can adjust our pattern obviously from the stream to a mist. That's too misty, you don't want to breathe that in, but it covers well. We get to the right amount. Oh yeah, right there. Look at this. Now it takes a little bit longer to coat because obviously it's a more funneled pattern. Watch from further away. Covers pretty well. So we have a contraption here. It's basically a bucket full with water. I have some holes in the lid to allow for this to sit in there and for my water hose to be in there to run. Constantly have my Elay sprayer here that I use a shut-off valve that I can control the water. So that way the water is going at the same rate that it's going out. And this thing can run at full load because you can't just run it dry and think that that's how it's going to perform. It needs to run shooting liquid because that puts load on the motor. So an upside down zip tie, we put on there, that bulk piece will get pushed down into the button, I hope, and then that'll be how we get it to spray. Yeah, there we go. Well, everybody, I killed it. I don't know what to say. It got to the 30-minute mark. At 30-minute mark, it still had 3 bars, but it was spitting and sputtering and making some weird sounds. And I noticed I must have had the water on too much. I did some adjustments and it got too high. And it was sitting in the water. So it says it on the instructions, don't get this part wet. So you hear this? It smells like burnt wires. So I ruined it. Don't do what I just did. That's all I gotta say. There you go, I ruined it. I'm sorry about that. It's the first product I think I've ruined in a review, but we were able to get to 30 minutes, and 30 minutes it had 3 bars, so we know it's gonna last a while. It smells like burnt wires right now, but I'm gonna have to cut a hole at the top of this bucket to kind of give it escape for water if it does get too high, so this doesn't happen again. Spray pattern's good. If you can dial that knob just right, the good thing is, if you dial it just right, it's gonna stay there. It's not gonna move. The bad part is it's too tight of a turn, but that's the only adjustability you have to deal with unless you use the sprayer. The brass spray head, it's got a little bit from mist to stream. You know, there's a whole lot of adjustment there. I've been playing with it for a week with high alkalines. It's done pretty well with Maniac Wheel and Tire and some others. So there you go. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. I'll see you in the next video. 10 to 15 to 1. But the foam cannon, if you don't leave enough air, oh my gosh, jeez. If you don't leave enough air, oh my gosh.